Saturday, June 30th, 2018, the last day of June. For all you cappers out there, you're trying to hustle up, Jeff. I think we're going to see maybe 30 to 40 plays out of some cappers to pull themselves out of negative units for the month because it is the last day of the month. We're going to have some fun here. Major League Baseball, we'll talk today. Bron watch, we'll get into that to a little bit because for some reason it's going to take, it seems like 2 to 3 weeks at this point to see where he's going to go. Major League Baseball, soccer's up there right now, 1-1 at half. A lot of good stuff here going on at sportsbookreview.com. Big Man O'Camp is joining me. Big Man, what's good, man?
I'm doing well, Donnie. Yeah, listen, if you're following a guy and he's down 9 units for the month and you see him put 10 plays out today, it might be time to find another person. There's people doing that, though. They're putting out they're WNBA handicappers all of a sudden. They love soccer and they're all about baseball. So if you see that, just run a different way.
I will be putting out 16 Major League Baseball plays today, Jeff, and I'm not even going to do sides. It's going to be all totals from me because I do have a distinct advantage on some totals today, Jeff, with hitting weather. How about that?
Good for you. Good luck.
Now, we'll have some fun, folks. Once again, welcome in. If you haven't done so yet, hit the subscribe button. Look at that, Jeff. 44,000 subscribers here to sportsbookreview.com. If you haven't done so yet, hit the subscribe button. Every single time me and the Big Men on Campus go live, you're going to get that notification. Join us in the chat box there. Come in, say hello. But today, Saturday, Jeff, everybody's out of the office. Not to say we're actually in the office there at sportsbookreview.com, but everybody's away. The mice get to play here. We're going to be able to relax. There's not really a time restriction. We'll keep it on the hour, but if we need to go over because we have some gems out there, we're going to talk some StarTAC Motorola, we can certainly do that. But today is a day that we're going to hit that entire Major League Baseball card, go over some numbers. Of course, dip into the chat box, see what's going on out there. But we'll have some fun today, no doubt about it, Jeff. Don't have to promote any sports books here on the Saturday afternoon, Jeff. Just a nice, relaxing day for us here. It might be 150 degrees up here in the Northeast.
Well, we got to talk about baseball, so it's not all great.
Come on, man. Baseball is the name of the game, Jeff. You only have 2 soccer games a day right now. You're in halftime right now. Are they going to park the bus here in the Argentinian game, Jeff? Or do we see some action in the second half from Paul Pogba and the boys? Pogba, whatever his name is.
Well, no. I mean, they're not going to park the bus. I mean, there is a tie game. I think France will do enough to find a way to win this game, but I don't have anything on it. I didn't bet this game. I'm on the other game, so I'll be watching intently to see what goes on, but I do not have a betting interest in this game. I'd like to see, Argentina win just because they're not as strong as France. But look, they're still not cohesive. They don't have the right lineup is never completed. I still don't understand what's up with their coach. They're just a team I don't really want. And if I'm a team, I'd want to face Argentina because I think they're very beatable. France is a big boy. If you can knock them out, that's big.
Yeah, no soccer yesterday to review. Obviously, no NBA news, no NBA games to review, but some news there. LeBron James opting out. So looks like right now, if it's going to be a favorite, Jeff, right now, it looks like it's going to be the Lakers and, distant second place right now is our Philadelphia 76ers. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see if they can swing Kawhi, swing LeBron. But at this point right now, it looks like LeBron's going to be, hey, look, you can't fault him. Going out to L.A., nice town. You can retire out there. Won't win any titles, but, you're in Tinseltown. You can get your production career going, make those inroads while you're home as opposed to being in Cleveland. So looks like LeBron's probably going to head out to Los Angeles. Hopefully Kawhi can hook on with the Sixers and we'll have some fun. I still don't believe Kawhi is going to be traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. It would be pure insanity from a San Antonio aspect from doing that, Jeff.
I was listening to a guy that was on with Francesa yesterday, and he was talking about how for the Lakers, it's not only going out there and, he can go out and kind of finish out his career, let's say, but he can be made into a global brand, which Magic Johnson's been able to kind of do himself in his personal life. I think the next goal for LeBron is to be not only Michael Jordan on the court, but Michael off the court. No one will ever get to where Michael Jordan has become from a basketball product, global standpoint. I mean, Jordan brand is among the biggest in the world and has been made into the most popular. LeBron will never be that big, but he can get quite big himself. He already is big enough. I think it's just completing the global branding, and that's a great place to do it. Yeah, I mean, as far as LeBron coming to this town, I've given up on that a bit ago. It really kind of faltered around that Brian Colangelo time. I mean, it seemed like there wasn't maybe a shot, but I don't know. It seemed to get bad juju from then on, but it'll be interesting to see where LeBron goes. It's all we're going to see over the next couple of weeks. It's just how it's going to go. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, I think L.A. at this point is probably the pick. Will anyone else go there? I don't think. I think it's going to be LeBron, and that's it.
Yeah, maybe Paul George. We'll see if he ends up out there. But, it'll be interesting. It'll be a lot of fun to watch the Western Conference, at least in the East. If you get LeBron out of the East, it'll be the Sixers and the Celtics. They're vying for the top spot, but only to get, waylaid, wasted, blasted by that Western Conference again. So NBA, again, it'll be formidable. You'll see next year, when the odds come out, it'll be Golden State minus like 900. And if we're watching right now, Jeff, I believe Argentina just took the lead over France. Good for the boys of Argentina, Jeff.
Yeah, see that. Wow. Who scored? Messi?
I don't know. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm just going to say Di Maria. Could that be correct? I don't know.
Di Maria. He scored the first goal, I believe.
I know. Yeah, it's the only guy. That's outside of Messi. It's the only guy I know.
An absolute screamer of a goal. Let me see here. It was
Bocanegra, Jeff. Carlos Bocanegra.
Bocanegra. He's an American. Yeah, I don't know who scored, but I got my back to it. I'm trying to be professional do the show.
I'll go 2-1 in that game. We'll keep an eye on that as it goes. Jeff, Major League Baseball, some interesting games yesterday. If you were tuning in, hot again on the East Coast. I was actually at the Phillies game, and that was over real quick. An 11-0 lead for the Washington Nationals, Jeff. And doesn't it always seem like we get back to the point and say, you know what? When we were growing up, the lineup was normal, right? The speed contact hitters at the top of the lineup, the power in the middle, and the hitters who aren't that good at the bottom of the lineup. Well, it looks like the Nationals woke up yesterday and put Bryce Harper in the 3 spot instead of the leadoff spot. And what do you know? 7 blasts later and 17 runs later, they got themselves a nice victory, Jeff. Do managers outsmart themselves at times in Major League Baseball, according to you?
Yeah, for sure. Listen, they were just on fire last night scoring runs. Eric Fetty is got real lucky last night. They were able to score runs for him. Yeah. Listen, it was just one of those games. I don't know how long you stayed at the game. Did you watch all this?
7th. I left at I left about just before 10 o'clock. It was fireworks night too, which was nice. So you got out of there with no traffic. It was beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, no, they definitely do outsmart themselves sometimes. But the good managers are ones that don't do it very often. By the way, Messi.
Ooh, Messi got the goal. How about that? Golden boot, Jeff. Does he have a shot for a golden boot today?
How
about man of the match? Can he get man of the match today?
Well, he's going to have to keep playing well as far as the golden boot's concerned. It's not the golden boot; it's the golden ball. Best player in the tournament. No, Harry Kane is probably leading that right now. But we'll see. He's definitely playing well in this match. We'll see if they can finish it out, Donnie.
No, it should be a good one there to watch as it goes through. I know we got a game. 2 o'clock's the next game, so at least they get staggered. And again, knockout stage game, man. It's either win, move on, lose, or go home in those. Yesterday, again in Major League Baseball, we talked about it on the show. I get a good kick out of CC in hot weather and melting down on the mound. Yesterday, he was good for the New York Yankees, but the whole theme of yesterday was, Jeff, just not down with betting against the New York Yankees at home. They're just built for that environment and built for that park. You're not even laying a big line yesterday, Jeff. 120, 121 yesterday? I know Rodriguez has been decent as the left-handed side, but you're not really making money, are you, if you're just fading the Yankees at Yankee Stadium? Come on.
No, you're definitely not making money, for sure. I don't know why you would want to do that. Yesterday was a tough game. I thought it was a bit of a toss-up, but, the Yankees are 30-11 at home this year. Pretty good. They're up 9.4 units. So if you're fading the Yankees at home, you've lost a lot of money. They continue to roll wherever they are, whether it's home or away. CC was pretty good last night, frankly. Hot weather isn't bothering him too much. I thought his weight's looked a little bit better. I think he's been losing weight. I think he's down a little bit. But, one thing about CC is he is built for that. It was the first real hot game of the season, I think. So, maybe he'll start to wilt as the season goes on. But, yeah, I'm not if you're betting against the Yankees at home, you might want to find something else to do with your time.
Yeah, some other ones, Jeff. Font gets the start again as one of those bullpen games for Tampa Bay. They end up beating the Houston Astros in that one. Everybody predicted Gallardo would have a really good start yesterday. And also Paul Blackburn, Jeff, 3-1 win, the Oakland Athletics. Break up the Oakland Athletics, man. Steaming and charging out there on the West Coast. I don't really know what's going to get them at the end all be all at the end of the season, since they're in a division with the Seattle Mariners and the Houston Astros. But a nice win for them, a nice dog win for them also. And again, Jeff, we saw Cincinnati took money yesterday. Sal Romano, they ended up getting busted 8-2 in that game, but it was actually a lot closer and really opened up. Hey, congratulations if you had the over in that one. I don't know, 9.5 or whatever, closed at 10, depending where you were getting it. 6, 7, 8 runs, whatever it was, scored between the 8th and the 9th inning. That has to help.
Yeah, Donnie, you know what's funny about baseball? All you need to know is how big baseball is for people. Okay, 92 people are in the show right now. Nice group of people. But football, there's like 400. It's amazing.
Yeah,
right?
but I mean, if we tagged it the same way, I mean, we could tag, live game, and if we tag soccer right now, we'd have the same amount in here, even though it would say baseball.
I think if we do football, like we just do a football show, you get way more people in.
Football does huge ratings, man. You kidding me? September through February, huge.
I think people are just sick of baseball right now. They're just tired of it.
Well, I mean, you can drop off the show if you want, and I'll go ahead and go down the card. If you don't have anything to add, we can always do that.
No, I'll stay. It's all right.
All right, 9:51, 9:52. We'll get down the rotation all the way through here. We'll have some fun. DeGrom and Lopez on the mound. DeGrom was scratched yesterday from a start. The Mets end up getting torched with Patton Oswalt, the actor, on the mound yesterday, I believe, for the New York Mets. Today we go DeGrom and Lopez. Not much on Lopez, but he does have some really good numbers in Double-A, if you take a look at that. But again, you're stepping up to Major League Baseball. The one thing that does help always, if you're starting for the Marlins, is when you start at home, you're playing in a absolute, cave down there where the ball doesn't travel all that well, and it's hard to clear the outfield walls, unless you're Giancarlo Stanton, who obviously isn't playing there anymore. 161, 167, 165 out there, 7 across the board in this one. I won't have my hand in this one. I do not like the Mets at this point, but I don't really know what I'm going to get out of Lopez, other than, he had a decent, career so far in the minor leagues.
The Mets, Donnie, have lost 20 of 25, and that's just in June. I didn't go back to how bad it's been over the last month or two. This is just a dreadful organization. And, you look at Sandy Alderson, he steps down. Now it's Omar Minaya who's going to handle day-to-day operations with this team. They're down in Miami. No one cares. Imagine being the Mets right now. I mean, no one cares about this team in New York. Everybody's worried about the Yankees. They're down in Miami. Then they go up to Toronto. It's just nobody cares. The Mets are just a bad team with no prospects. They're going to keep a pitcher that is great, but you don't win his starts. Look, I mean, this game is like, I don't know. I mean, I guess you take Mets first 5 and just hope that they have a lead. I mean, DeGrom will have them in the game and pitch well, clearly, but I don't know what I'm going to get out of Paulo Lopez. This is a pass for me. 2 teams that I don't want to bet on.
Yeah, another one here, 9:53, 9:54. Milwaukee and Cincinnati. Yuli's, I should say. Chaseen on the mound versus Tyler Mahle. 2,500 tickets have been tracked in this one. 50-50 split, and it looks like, opens up around 110, 105, depending on where you're shopping. Staying in that range 5 times, 113, Intertops 115. So Cincinnati looking to hop back on board, and a lot of guys, it seems like. These are one of the games, it's 4:10 start. You want to make sure that you're going to see some starting lineups in here again, because Yelich questionable for this one also. Braun as well. So might want to check into that, because we do know the Cincinnati Reds can hit and hit at home. Didn't hit last night. It was an 8-2 final, but I'm not about taking a team that's going to give a B lineup all the way through. But then again, you can always lean on that Milwaukee bullpen late in the games to keep you in it. But as we know, hey, Cincinnati's been raking there. Good win yesterday by Milwaukee. Not so sure I want to dip my, looking at it about a 50-50 ticket split, 110 either way. If I'm looking at this game, healthy lineup for the Cincinnati Reds, I'm probably going to lean that way, because they are the home team getting a decent price. But, until I see some lineups out there, I don't really have too much of a plan for this one.
This is a tough series, man. I mean, and this is where, the triggers of losing and gambling a game bother you. I mean, you look at last night in this game, Donnie. This was a 2-1 game going into the 8th inning. And the game goes over. It pushes the total. I mean, it was a 10 number. They scored 8 runs in the 8th and 9th inning, and the game went. I mean, this is where, this is what's so tough sometimes when you gamble. When you're winning, it's great, but it only takes one game to lose, Donnie. A lot. You could lose. You had a nice night. You could have a bad night because of one little thing. It's like in poker when you bluff and you get caught. And you give all your money away on a bluff. It's like it stings, And this one stung. I thought under 10 was a great play in this one. And getting a push was kind of irritating. But, in this game, I'm kind of interested in always in Milwaukee when I'm getting them around a pick 'em. I mean, they have a great bullpen, but Tyler Mahle has been pretty good this year. I might go back to the well again and just, take another under. I mean, I just don't think with the Milwaukee Brewers they should be having a 10 number attached to them. I think their bullpen's too good. I think Chacin's been fine. Mahle's been good as well. I'm going to go back to the well and go under 10 again. I'm going to go back to what's burned me once and almost burned me twice. I'm going to go back to it for a third time here. I'm going to go under 10 in this game.
Yeah, 95 degrees at first pitch there at 4 o'clock in Cincinnati. So would it be a cooker in that little bandbox ballpark? We'll see. But again, yeah, you're right. You're talking about 10 runs, 6-5 to get you the victory. And technically, I like Cincinnati's bullpen since it's came back and been a little bit more healthy. We all know how powerful that Milwaukee bullpen could be. And again, these are division rivals, Jeff, which each pitcher, each batter, they know each other. So the scouting reports. It's not like Oakland coming in here and just, jetpacking a quick game in Cincinnati saying, hey, never seen this batter before. And you're throwing him, sliders when he can rake those. So they know each other inside and out. We'll keep it going here. 9:55, 9:56, Jeff, a 6 o'clock start in Philadelphia. What I'm assuming is probably another fireworks game here in Philadelphia. Who knows on the field, but definitely after the game. Hellickson and Velasquez. Velasquez, obviously, we know is a strikeout pitcher. He has been doing better lately. I mean, look, there's sometimes he gets tripped up at home there, but he is a strikeout guy, something I like to lean on. What are we getting from Jeremy Hellickson in this game? Obviously, through the first half of the season before going on the DL, he's a 5-inning pitcher, but giving you a really good 5 innings. 5 innings, shutout baseball, 5 innings, 1 earned run, 5 innings, 2 earned run, keeping you around in the bullpen, but always one of those funny monikers that you see, Jeff. He goes to not AA, not AAA, a single A rehab start, pitches 4 2/3 innings, gives up 11 earned runs in that game, and I believe 9 or 10 hits along with it, only like 2 or 3 strikeouts. Now he's just going to, get right back into Philadelphia in a 95-degree weather condition where that ball is jumping out of there. What are we going to get from Hellickson today? It's one of those things where you just say, oh, well, Washington's bats finally woke up. I'm just going to ride him. But can you really ride a pitcher coming back off the DL and getting shelled in his only start against like 18-year-old ball players?
Yeah, this is interesting because, Hellickson was so good. And then he goes out in that game. He goes down to the depths of minor league baseball.
Yeah.
He struggles. I look at Velasquez as well, and look, I'm not a fan of Vincent Velasquez. And it's not that I hate the guy. I just think he's better suited in the bullpen. I think he has bullpen stuff. He could be like a Dellin Betances type of player. Come in, strike out the side, and that's what he does. I don't think he's a long-term starter. That was only my thing with Vin Velasquez. You look at his home numbers, Donnie, a 6.23. He's given up 11 home runs, 20 walks. Whip of 1.3, so a bit higher. He's been better on the road. I mean, he's only given up 2 home runs on the road, only 13 walks, 12 earned runs compared to 33 at home. He just doesn't have as good home numbers. The problem with Vince Velasquez has been home runs. It's a hot day, like you said. You'd have to figure the ball's fine out. We already know Washington's kind of murdering the ball after last night. Over might look pretty good here. You remember Hellickson? It was a Phillies pitcher for a few years, a year or two ago. I would kind of lean over in this game.
Yeah, Velasquez last 2 starts, 30% strikeout rate, 167 average, whip of 1.4, left on base 83%, ERA 4.38. So I mean, it is going to be hot then there, but we'll see some lineups the way they come out today. Because I'm looking at some advanced numbers for the lineups for the Washington Nationals right now. It looks like it has Harper listed still in the leadoff spot, which would really be hilarious to me. And it makes me, last night, Jeff, 17 runs last night, 18 hits. I believe Spencer Keyboom was 1 for 5 or 1 for 6 yesterday, Jeff. So not doing his part to chip in there for the Washington Nationals.
Yeah, we get it. You hate him.
Next up here, 9:57, 9:58. Atlanta's going to have a spot start in here. Max Fried, the lefty, is going to get the start against Luke Weaver at home. 57% of the tickets lining up on St. Louis. Nice win last night and a nice comeback game for Julio Teheran. Obviously, with the previous game being at home where the Orioles got to him, I believe, for 7 earned. I don't know if it was 7 earned runs. I know it was 7 runs, grand slam, and a 3-run double by Chris Davis in that one. But a nice bounce back start on the road. You're going to get the lefty. And again, St. Louis is going to be able to stack those right-handed bats outside of the leadoff batter, which is usually Carpenter, the lefty. They can go, 2 through 8, all right-handed bats. We'll see if that makes a difference in this one. But that line not agreeing so far overall. Opens up at 140, 145. Jeff, you're going to find intertops and 5 times at -132 here. And again, Atlanta, hey, look, Acuna's back in the lineup. Ozzie Albies is back there healthy. We'll see if it's one of those games, Jeff. It is going to be a hot game, a hot environment in St. Louis. Do they let those young kids play again, even though they're a little bit banged up? So keep in mind on some of the actual lineups that are coming out. We do see Atlanta struggles a little bit in the bullpen, talking about making some moves out there. But in this game overall, Jeff, I really can't trust, the young lefty on the mound on the road with Atlanta in this one.
Well, look, St. Louis has struggled against lefties this year. They're only hitting 228 as a club against southpaws, so you have that working for you. But, yeah, you just don't have a ton out of Max Fried. He's pitched one outing this year. It was against the Mets. He gave up one run over 5 innings, did walk 4 batters. So, he wasn't unbelievable. But I have my concerns about St. Louis. I don't bet in St. Louis games. I'm not going to start now. This is a pass for me. By the way, Donnie, this match is wild. If you didn't know, France scored again, 2-2, and we're here talking about baseball. Let's Donnie, keep it going.
Yes, because not too many people outside of the United States or in the United States are actually caring about the soccer match right now. So we'll go ahead.
Oh no, I think this is gonna have. I think this will have better ratings than any baseball game today.
Well, if you put it on at 11 a.m., it's really the only thing to watch, right? If you only had one baseball game on today, I would like to see the numbers between the two.
Every Premier League game has better ratings than baseball games, guaranteed.
Wait, what, in England?
No,
do they even have them on TV? Do they even show them on TV in the United States?
Saturday night match.
Saturday. That's like the MLS to me. I had no idea they even put it on TV. Yeah. Hey, another goal, Jeff. France, 3-2.
Yes. Wow. Argentina. This is what they do. No, I'm talking about the Saturday game they put on at 12 o'clock on the East Coast.
During the day? No, I didn't even know it was on. I didn't even know
on Saturdays they do it.
You know which one I actually used to watch, Jeff, back in my my older life, I should say? It used to be like a Monday afternoon match they would have on.
They still have that. They still?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have that the kind of towards the end of the season, but yeah, they put it on NBC Sports, that MBSN or whatever it is. Yeah, no, I used to see it because I used to watch my kid in the afternoon when she was 1 or 2, and it was the only sporting event on. Jeff, as my stance already calling here, you are a fool if you are betting unders, Jeff, in this World Cup tournament. True or false? False.
Yeah, but it's hitting at an outrageous, what is it, 60, 70% at this point, overs?
Over? No, not in the tournament. Yeah. No.
They hit because I met before the last 2 days. It was 22-16 was the over number, I think, coming into yesterday.
This is the great thing about over. A whole world will bet overs from now on because they watch this game. This is an unders ground. You'll see.
Look, 3-2. That's awesome, man. 3-2.
Did you see who scored, Donnie?
What's that?
Did you see who scored?
No, I did not. Paul Pogba?
The young kid, Kylian Mbappe.
Damn it. I got Pogba to score
fastest
anytime.
Player on the pitch.
Has Pogba scored yet today out of these 3 or no?
Nah, Griezmann and Mbappe.
Damn.
And who was the third? No, it wasn't Pogba.
Somebody's going to be Messi's going to score, Jeff, and it's going to go 3-3. And then I believe in this. There's no overtime, or overtime takes why is there no? Here's what I don't understand about soccer, Jeff. Why is it not sudden death? Why do you play 2 30-minute halves on top of it, or 15-minute?
There's no golden goal, Donnie.
Yeah, give me the golden goal. Why not? It's excitement that would be.
No walk-offs. They don't do that. It's got to be uniform, Donnie.
Now hold on. If there would be a walk-off in the World Cup, is it because they're afraid that the fans would create so much havoc in the stands, the place would burn, riot, and they would just flood the field and party? Because it would be a great sight. Imagine Argentina getting a walk-off goal. What would happen?
Maradona would die on the field.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you would love to see that because you could see the clock going down and it's fun. But a golden goal in World Cup action would be awesome to walk off.
By the way, Donnie, before we get back into baseball, I know you're not a big fan of him, but I wanted to tell people that show Jesus and Mero. Have you watched?
Yeah, why did it get canceled? I thought people liked that show. It didn't get
canceled. They're moving to Showtime. They have a bigger platform.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But they had their last show on Thursday night, and look, I've been a fan of that show since it came out. It's really good. They interviewed Francesa, and I thought the interview was 26 minutes of gold, just great. I heard
because I don't really look, I'm an old head, so I'm staying to my like normal channels. Like
Yeah.
what? Like I don't ever get through to Viceland. You know, like what time is it actually on? I've never actually. I've seen the show through like YouTube, and like somebody would retweet it, and like you'd see the clips.
Yeah.
But I actually never knew like where it was actually at. It's good that they're going to a new channel because Showtime. I'm all about that. I'll be on that.
Viceland has great shows, man. They have the Action Bronson show, and they have this drug show that's pretty good. They've had some good shows, but yeah, no, I'll miss it on Viceland. But because it's on Showtime, that means even better, better content because there's no, you can swear and you can do all that stuff. So yeah,
no, that's good.
It'll be.
I was actually confused by that because I know they have a pretty good like following there, and I saw like, oh, our last show. I'm like, damn, that's cold. No, it's good. They're going at least somewhere I can watch it, or at least it's going to get some visibility now. Speaking
of TV, Donnie, and it's a good point. I mean, I'm not jumping on you or anything. I just think you would enjoy the show. I'm surprised you haven't started watching Power yet. Like, I think you would like.
My time is so limited. Like, but I'm usually watching like sports at night. Like I go through my day. Like we do the show in the morning. Got to take the kid to camp. Got to go run my errands. Then I got to cap. And then from 7 o'clock through like 1 a.m. or midnight, like it's all like I don't have that much time. I actually have more time during football season because not everything is on every night. How you can like, all right, you know what? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Like you basically have the night to yourself. Where in baseball, it's hard for me to catch up on.
Another goal, 4-2.
Damn,
Messi. See you later.
See ya.
See you later, pal.
I need to get a Maradona interview after this game. See what he thinks about Messi.
No, you won't see him on the TV. No, but no, Donnie, with your hip hop acumen, I feel like you would.
Yeah.
Maybe
no, it's hard for me to catch up and do stuff. Like I have like 1 hour, 2 hours on Sunday night, and it's usually something I like to watch. Which again, I don't have any shows that I like to watch right now, obviously until like Ray Donovan or something kicks off. So,
the new season, Donnie, of Power starts tomorrow, so it's exciting.
What season are we in Power?
What season are we in? 5 or 6?
Well, all right. Getting back to some baseball action, 959, 960, Jeff Colorado and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Marquez and Maeda on the mound. 23% are going to back the road team. Last night, Jeff, 3-1 win by Colorado. Always feisty. It doesn't seem like Jeff Colorado is always a feisty underdog.
On the road.
Just because the lineup, they can run out there. I mean, they got some big sticks, and Nolan Arenado is unconscious, it seems like, at this point. And again, another big number, 180 opens up, 175, 176, 171 at 5 times. You can get them at. And Maeda, hasn't been the end-all, be-all. If we take a look at some of Maeda's numbers here, let me see if I can bring some of these up. Last 2 games, Jeff, 24% strikeout rating. 205. His numbers are decent. 253 ERA. If you're looking at his Sierra numbers, his future numbers don't add up that well at 4.50. But depending on what you get out of Marquez, and again, when you're looking at those Colorado Rocky pitchers, take out their ERA, man. Just take a look at what they're doing on the road because everybody gives up runs in Colorado. But now moving into a pitcher's environment here for Marquez.
Yeah, Marquez is kind of a peculiar pitcher. I don't really know how to take him at this point. I took a shot with him on the road in Philadelphia. He got crushed. I thought he was kind of feeling himself on the road, and then he gets crushed there. So I'm kind of concerned about taking him at this point. Maeda's been good. The Dodgers have kind of found themselves, but they're not a great home team offensively. It's kind of interesting. The Dodgers just are totally different, Donnie, than what they were last year. I mean, at home they were dominating. They never lost seemingly. They had that great bullpen. They're not winning these one-run games like they were. It's amazing what a year does. I don't have much on this game. It's a tough one for me. I like the Rockies in this spot, and I'd probably consider taking them at this number just because you are getting over 150 on a team that, I think is much better on the road than they are at home. And the Dodgers I'm not a fan of at home, but I hope Marquez, though, has seen the Dodgers many times. It's not like the Phillies that he rarely ever sees. I mean, in his career against the Dodgers, I mean, you've seen him, only 4 times. He's got an ERA of 3.0, so not a ton of experience there either. I just don't know that I trust Marquez after that stunt in Philly, but I still lean that way.
No, and an interesting one coming up here, 961, 962. Arizona, fresh off getting beat last night by San Francisco, is a nice favorite. Going to come back today, Jeff. Shelby Miller, everybody waiting for him to come around. He was one of those 80%, 85% guys last time coming back versus the Marlins and got torched. He's going up against Rodriguez, who hasn't been that bad. Looking at this, you don't know what you're going to get from him. Pudge Rodriguez's kid, or I believe Derek Rodriguez is. You don't know what you're going to get, but he's been pretty solid as of late. Shelby Miller coming back. You'd think he would have a bounce back start, especially being at home. But one of those guys, Jeff, until I see him get right off of the DL, I'm not going to lay the wood. But if we're taking a look, opening up -110, -115. Shelby Miller now up to -118, -121. Over under opened up at 8.5, now sitting. Over up at that 9, now sitting at 8.5. So in the big humidor out there in Arizona, not expecting a ton of runs. But I'm not going to lie right now, Jeff. I'm leaning towards San Francisco in this one until I see something out of Shelby Miller.
Yeah, Miller coming off the injury. I mean, he's, he wasn't good in his first start back, basically. Got crushed against Miami. But I don't really trust the kid Rodriguez either. He's kind of a guy that, I just don't know a ton about. He's only thrown 5 starts. This is a pass for me. I don't have much in this game from a betting perspective. Donnie, wanted to just say one thing about France. This team coming into this game had lower odds to win the tournament over England. England was seeded and odded higher than they were. Do you agree with that after seeing this?
Who was seeded higher?
England.
Seeded higher than France?
Well, they had a better odds. They were plus 750. France is plus 800.
I guess it would. I guess it would be a harder road, I guess, for France.
Yeah, but I mean, France is proven to be pretty damn good. I think at this point, a lot of people are going to run and bet France after this game to win this title. After this game, this is impressive stuff. I will say this, Donnie, that I think in sports we have to do a better job of as fans, and that's jumping on people that are stars that. I saw someone tweet that or say on the chat that look at Messi, he's just walking around. He doesn't care. He's got a terrible attitude. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, he's down 4-2 in a game that he was up 2-1 in. He has no one else really to help. The defense is an absolute mess. We have to LeBron gets this problem a lot where people jump on LeBron because he doesn't do it. I mean, LeBron got the Cavs to the fucking finals. I mean, and we're actually talking shit about LeBron in the finals because he this and did that. Why are we doing that, Donnie, as fans? I mean, Messi's a great player. I mean, did he play well in this tournament? Not really, but I mean, without him, do you really think they'd even be here?
No, it's the whole adage, some guy who is a great player, has all the money in the world out there. It's a lot easier to tear down than build up. So you're going to look for the chinks because right now, Jeff, if the game was 4-2 Argentina right now with Messi 2 goals, what would you see across the internet? Greatest player of all time. Oh my God. Like you're so stupid if you bet against Argentina today.
One game, it's like people's whole opinion on someone changes. That's the world we live in now because of, the social media aspect. You hear one thing or you hear one comment, it's kind of amazing.
All right, we had Pittsburgh last night. The only play I had last night went down on Jeff last night, plus 100 with the San Diego Padres. Pittsburgh looks like they're waking up a little bit after that comeback. After that comeback from the New York Mets in the 9th inning, looks like it spurred them a little bit last night. A little comeback from the Padres didn't go through. Padres had 12 hits last night, so he could have made it through. But, hey, if you're going to lose a game, you might as well lose the plus 101 type games. Williams and Lucchesi on the mound. Williams going to give you what he gives you. 5-6, innings out there, steady. He's, not really going to get blown up. But Lucchesi's the one wild card out there. He has really electric stuff. He's a lefty on the mound, but can you trust it? Because if you watch just a couple games ago, Jeff, versus the Oakland Athletics in Petco Park, he got slaughtered in that game. Now you're going to come back and face Pittsburgh. Again, I still don't think Pittsburgh's bats are all that great, but they're going to give you some professional bats. -120, -115. You're getting a cheap number on the Padres, but same type of look last night. I want to see some lineups come out, but it looks like now the Padres have got, the Pittsburgh Pirates have got a little bit figured out on offense. I like the fact they moved Marte out of the 3-hole, put him in the 1-hole to change up the look of that lineup here. But until they get Cervelli back at catcher, I'm not buying all in. But now you're getting a dog price on them here, Jeff.
Yeah, you look at Joseph Lucchesi. I mean, the problem I have with him is, like many young pitchers, he doesn't go deep into the game. So if you're going to take the Padres, just know they have a pretty good bullpen, so it's not a big deal. But if you're going to look that way, maybe you want to consider maybe a first 5 and look that way. But, yeah, Lucchesi has been pretty good. The concern lately, though, is that one knockouting against Oakland. But you look at his starts now, he's only going about 4 2/3 an outing. Yeah. So if you're going to do this, make sure you probably do first 5. But yeah, I mean, another tough game. I mean, there's a lot of games that I don't have a big feel on. This is another one of them. I don't really want to bet San Diego under any circumstance. And remember, Lucchesi doesn't go deep into the game.
No, exactly. But if you're looking at that, though, the one thing, even if he doesn't go deep into the game, San Diego does have a decent bullpen in a pitcher's ballpark. You saw it last night. I mean, Lauer wasn't good off the bat, but the bullpen came in and sort of solidified the game. And it looks like Pittsburgh's getting their stuff together because on the back end with Vasquez, the closer, throwing 100 or 101 at this point and shutting down games. I've watched him a couple series with the Mets now, and now obviously last night there comes in to put the fire out with a couple strikeouts. So both the bullpens looking solid. If we're looking at that, Jeff, I don't know, over under 7.5 probably would lean towards an under in that environment because not a lot of fireworks typically from both sides on the offense as of lately for both of those teams. Detroit, Toronto here, 965, 966, 56% of the tickets coming in on Toronto. Look at this number, Jeff, for Gaviglio. Opens up at 175, still sitting in the high 160s, low 170s, depending on where you're shopping at. Boyd has been awful as of late. But again, what are you getting out of the Detroit Tigers, especially being on the road? But that's a big number for Gaviglio to have, Jeff.
Yeah, it is. But you said it, Donnie, and we're starting to see it regression with Matt Boyd. Yeah. No surprise. Donnie, I wish we could pull tapes with this show because, I would go back to, and you know what tapes are good for? 2 people. They're good for people that want to remember things, and they're also for people that want to forget things. Because, look, I've said a lot of things that haven't come in as well. But, I think for most, the most long-term predictions for me have been fairly good. As far as that's concerned, we're seeing a lot of regression from Matt Boyd, Donnie. I mean, you see it right now. And they're throwing this number out, and I think a lot of people are thinking, wow, do I really want to lay this kind of number with Sam Gaviglio? And the answer is no, you don't want to do it either. So the goal is to pass on this one because Gaviglio has not been good either. So for me, another pass on a shitty baseball card, a bad game here, Donnie. Guan White's right. This card stinks.
Yeah, there's some interesting ones they're going through, but a lot of guys getting those first starts out there, a lot of spot starts. You have the bullpen start game. So, I mean, some interesting ones where it is hard to get a feel on exactly how the pitcher's going to go. How about this next one, Jeff? 967, 968, Cleveland and Oakland last night. This is, I mean, out of just from what I see, and I see it a lot, you get the older pitcher in, Jeff, gets that energized start against a bad ball club, right? Comes out. Now he settles in. He has his second start. There's film back on him. He's in the major leagues. The adrenaline is down a little bit. Now he gets a formidable major league lineup. That's with Edwin Jackson tonight. Pluko hasn't been that bad over his past couple starts. 62% of the tickets coming in on Cleveland here. Opens up, pick 'em 105. But it looks like, 110 now heading to enter tops if you're looking from a Cleveland side. If you're just looking at this game on its edge, I'm fading Edwin Jackson until he loses his game, which I think is going to be today. He's not a good pitcher. He's a tomato can. He's been on 19 teams. He's old as hell. And I don't think Oakland is going to continue that torrid hot streak. I think it catches up to him here in this environment. I think the Indians can get to him in this game. And I'm not backing Edwin Jackson anytime, any place, anywhere on this planet. I'm sorry.
Donnie, remember in Godfather, when was it? Godfather, I think it was in Godfather 3, which was a terrible movie. But, and it had nothing at all connected or to do with the first two. And it was quite a shame that they actually put it out as a terrible movie. But remember when Michael Corleone made that absolutely great comment, and we all remember this, just when I was out, just when I thought I was out,
back in.
They pulled me back in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm not doing it, though. I'm not fucking doing it no more. I'm not buying in to this fucking Indians team. I'm not doing it. I'm done. After last night, I'm fucking done. I'm done with them.
You had them last night?
No.
Why would you? You had them last night, that big-ass number?
I bet the run line with Cleveland. I'm getting 9 at-bats. I'm facing fucking Paul Blackburn with fucking Bauer on the mound. And these fucking losers can't even fucking hit Paul motherfucking Blackburn. Fuck the Indians. Fuck Cleveland. Fuck the Browns. Fuck the Indians. Fuck everybody in Cleveland. I'm done with these fucking losers. I'm done with all of them. Fuck the Cavs. Fuck everybody in Cleveland. I'm done with Cleveland. Fuck you, Cleveland. Fuck. No. I'm not doing it anymore.
Jeff, get online today. We'll fade Edwin Jackson, get you to the promised land, get you that pot of coin at the end of it, man.
No, I'm not doing it. No. It should have hit Paul Blackburn. Edwin Jackson would be fucking Nolan Ryan today, guaranteed. 7 innings, two hits, no runs.
Yep, 2 walks, 8 Ks.
No, you know what, Donnie? You know what will happen? I won't bet them, and they'll score 9 runs. Listen, and when it happens, I want all of you to fucking like my status that I put out, because I'm going to tell you that's what they'll do today. I won't bet them. They'll score 9 fucking runs and win 9-1. That's what these fucking losers do. Fuck Cleveland.
Next up, 969, 970, the Angels and Baltimore. Here's another money burner, Jeff, for you. The Baltimore Orioles going to take the mound today with Cashner on the mound versus Skaggs, the lefty. 80% of the tickets coming in on the Angels. No surprise in that one whatsoever. Line open. Here we go, Jeff. Line opens up at 150 in both outlets with Pinnacle and Chris. What are we sitting at now? Lower to mid 145s, 140s in that range. Over under in this game. Let's take a look at that. And opens up at 9, now sitting at 9.5. So, hey, Jeff. Sharp sides betting the Baltimore Orioles today.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. 11-28 at home. Yeah, I mean, good for them. They're so sharp. By the way, Donnie, Baltimore 9-34 against teams with winning records this year. And they've lost 6 in a row. Yeah, I mean, Skaggs. I'm not. I've been very happy with Skaggs. I mean, you look at his last 3 starts, Donnie. I mean, 21 innings. He's given up 2 earned runs, got a whip of 1.09, ERA under 1. I mean, he's been absolutely marvelous. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand the move 5 cents back, but Jeff, the Orioles will stack 9 right-handed bats against them, Jeff. You have to factor that in. Well, I mean, listen, Cashner, I don't think it matters. Cashner's a veteran. I think he's able to be beat several different ways. I like the Angels on the road. I think this is one of the better plays of the day so far. There's not a ton of them, but I think this is a pretty good one. Yeah, I ought to roll back to last Saturday and give myself my own trophy. Somehow, Jeff, pulling up a win with the Baltimore Orioles. Have no idea why I backed the Orioles in that instance, but they ended up winning. And boy, I feel maybe it's one of those things you can get tattooed to say, remember that time I actually had the Orioles and I picked it the right way as an underdog, but this is just another interesting one. We'll see what the lineups come out on that. I understand the sharp angle here. I do. I get it. And I generally respect line movement in professional sports. I don't think you can make money. I mean, I know you have, but I don't really think it's a plausible way, especially like in the NBA. I don't think you can make money betting on anything other than sharp line moves and stuff. But what's interesting, Jeff, when you bring up a baseball aspect opposed to like the NBA, because in baseball, one team, like, you're saying, like, let's just say sharp or fade in the NBA, where, I believe on a night-to-night basis, if you're looking at tickets and money, you could probably do okay in the NBA, which I know we've had our conversations behind the scenes and laughed when everybody's on one side. But the one thing that does differentiate, whereas if you're fading, at least you don't have to win, right? Let's just say you're fading the Cavs because the Cavs are laying 5.5. Well, if you faded them, the other team doesn't technically even have to win the game. It's a little bit harder in baseball because you see much better teams go against poor teams. And I know you see money and you see numbers fading, but that team still has to actually win the baseball game, which separates it from the other sports. Yeah, I mean, baseball's a little tougher, but I will say, I mean, you look at some of these lines that have moved and these lines going other ways and stuff. They have come in. It hasn't been as pronounced as last year, I don't think. But no, as far as betting on the Orioles, it's a tough proposition, man. It really is. I mean, there's just not a lot to like with this team, and it's going to only get worse because the trade deadline's coming up. They're going to move on from people. The Angels look like the play here for sure, but why is the line going the opposite way is the big question. You're generally, when you see a line where, let's say it's opens 140 and you have a pitcher like Skaggs, the line should be up to 150, 155. It should not be going the other way. When does this game start? 4:05 or what? 4:05 in the heat, man. Going to be hot down there. I would be interested to look at this game around 3:30, 3:50, something like that. If this line's down to the 130s, that's a big concern to me. And for me, for baseball, it's just I'm just going to avoid that one. If I don't want to get involved with the Orioles under any circumstance, I'm just going to stay away from that one. And it's also one of those things where if the line moves from where's it at now, 145, and it goes down to 120 because obviously Mike Trout is not playing, that's a little bit different. But if the Angels have their normal everyday lineup in their drafts, you do want to give pause to it. I also saw one of the services out there, Jeff, which does some research saying, like, if you were just betting, like, those teams that get like 25 to 35% of the tickets and a little bit of money with line movement, you usually would do well. If you took the Baltimore Orioles out of there, Jeff, it's literally like a 20-unit swing
if you were just betting blindly, but remove the Orioles from the actual equation with those line moves there. It's amazing how bad they've been in a lot of circumstances where people are backing them, getting that dog money.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's something that you have to, the Orioles are just tough, man. I don't know how else to say it.
Bullpen game, Jeff, 971, 972, fresh off a win last night for the Tampa Bay Rays. Going to go up against Justin Verlander today on the mound. 80% of the tickets and 90% of the money, Jeff, coming in on those Houston Astros without Carlos Correa, who is on the DL. 186, 190. Jeff, 190 on the road versus Tampa Bay, which we know Tampa Bay's sneaky at home, but one would say, Verlander's going to go on the mound. He's going to make it right out there. Who knows what, Stanek's going to give you, even though Stanek has been really good starting off the game and giving way to the overall starting pitcher there. That's a high number to be on the road, man. If I'm going to back Verlander, but then again, if we look at Houston Astros numbers, Jeff, this is par for the course, and you might even think that's a cheap number because damn near every time I see Houston when they're at home, 240, 250, 300, 320. So you might actually be looking at this, Jeff, saying, oh, my God, I get a bargain with the Astros. But those Rays a little bit pesky down there, man.
Keep in mind, for anyone looking to fade Houston, as a road favorite, Donnie, of 175 or more, okay, this season, 16-3. They're up over 10 units. So they don't really lose in this kind of spot as a road favorite. And for all those, let's fade Verlander. Here's your spot. Go ahead. Big concern here, though, is, Donnie, most people will look at this game and say, I'm not laying 190. I'm going to lay the run line with Houston. They're going to get 9 at-bats, blah, 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 blah. Keep in mind, the Tampa Bay Rays are the best team in baseball against that run line, covering 1.5 runs. Or, whatever. I think this is covering 1.5 runs. So they're, I think, 49-32 covering that run line. So
close games, close, low-scoring games, Jeff. Yes, that's Tampa's MO. Yep.
Yeah, so they want to keep you in the game. You want to be down 1 or 2-0. Maybe, grab that late run. This has to feel to me, Donnie, of a 1-run win. I don't know why. But, I'm not running to take Houston. I do think they'll win, and I love Verlander. So I look to take a team total under or something. But it's a tough one, but they don't lose these kind of games, Houston. They're 16-3 at this price on the road, so I wouldn't be fading them.
Jeff, hot as Hell's Kitchen or close to it there in New York, 973, 974. Boston and the New York Yankees. Hey, why not? Hey, Chris Sale's on the mound. Just back him blind, right? Sonny Gray, oh, my God, he hasn't lived up to the hype, and Boston really needs this game. Well, if you're taking a look at it, Jeff, a lot of the public's thinking the same way. 74% of the early tickets coming in on the road favorite here, those Boston Red Sox. Line opens up at 140, 145. Where's it at right now, Jeff? Intertop's 38. 5 dimes, 142. Heavy money, heavy tickets coming in on sale to back him after the loss last night, Jeff. But that line ain't going anywhere. And again, if you're just saying, you know what, I don't care who's pitching on the mound, the Yankees going to roll that 1 through 9 out there with a good bullpen. As long as Gray gives you innings, they're in it right to the last out and getting money at home. And getting plus money at home here.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a scary proposition, though, because you wonder what's the good side in this game, because you look at one side with Sale and say, wow, I only got to lay 140-ish with Chris Sale, whether I don't look at the other team. But then you say to yourself, wow, but I'm getting 130-ish with the Yankees. I mean, the team at home, with that lineup, I'm getting plus money. Where do you go? For me, I think this is a Boston win. I think this series is incredibly close. I think it'll come down to that rubber match tomorrow and who wins this series. These teams are going to battle it out all year. It's going to be a great late summer, early fall with these two groups. I'm looking towards Sale here. He's had pretty good numbers in his career against the Yanks. Was very good against them earlier this season. They put up 14 runs for him in that game, which was pretty big. But, in 13 starts, he's got an ERA under 2, Donnie. I've been a big fan of Chris Sale. He's been a great pitcher. Not looking to back Sonny Gray, especially with his last 2 starts down against Boston. 10 innings, 10 runs, 12 hits, 3 walks. He's not been very good. I don't trust Sonny Gray, particularly in this ballpark. I think this is a nice little play on Chris Sale. I'd be interested in the Red Sox or the Sox, with Chris Sale on the mound.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at it. You take a little snapshot like the last couple starts for Chris Sale, Jeff. It's always nice when your pitcher is on the mound with a 47% strikeout rate over his last 2 games, a whip of .64. So you're either striking out or getting lucky with a walk, it seems. ERA of 1.29. and your look at that, your xFIP is 1.20. And I don't even know if I've seen this. A Sierra of 1.30. It basically means take a knee in the box and hope he hits you with the baseball right now.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. I mean, he's very good. And one thing quickly, Donnie, if I can go back to that Tampa game, someone's talking about Stanek's really good, take the under. I mean, how long is Stanek going to throw in this game, Donnie? I mean,
usually goes a couple innings, but the MO in his games is, if you can get through, and we've seen it there, especially even last night, no Correa in that lineup is a pretty big deal. And you said it all along, Jeff, when you get into these type of environment games, like versus Justin Verlander, who's very good, you even see the opposite offense. Instead of like when you get the leadoff double, you might have a big inning. What does the next batter do a lot now? Bunt it, give you the out. Hopefully you can scrape a run across the board. I see it there because also when you're looking overall at numbers, Major League Baseball, the Trop doesn't, there's not very many, 7 to 6 games down in the Trop, it seems like. So I could see it there,
Yeah, I mean, you just got to remember, I mean, this Stanek kid, I mean, you might be capping the game that he's going to pitch, and that's why you're taking an under, and then they bring in someone else, and it doesn't end the way you thought it would. But, yeah, as far as in that game, it's going to be a pass. In this game, though, I like Boston at this price.
Rodon Colon, Jeff, in the next game, 975, 976. The Chicago White Sox just got blasted yesterday. It's going to be interesting to see what we actually have and when we're going over, some numbers with both of these ball clubs being the starting lineups who's out there, because I don't know what the White Sox give you on a night-to-night basis anymore. Theoretically, when you look at the lineup when they're healthy, it's not a bad lineup. But now you're taking a look at this team and saying, what are they really playing for at this point? We know the bats can heat up for Texas, but you're getting Bartolo Colon now, who hasn't been bad his last couple of starts, and either has Carlos Rodon at this point. But what are you going to get out of the Chicago White Sox bat, Jeff, that you're going to believe that they're going to keep you in this ballgame down at Globe Life?
Well, I mean, the fact that they're facing Cologne is obviously a big plus. But Rodon is, many think Rodon. Listen, I don't see it with him. I think he's got walk problems. He's fixed them a bit, kind of as he's gotten into the season here a little bit. But I still am concerned about Carlos Rodon's control. You look at last night, I mean, easy over if he had that one. I think there were 10 runs in like the first 3 or 4 innings. This is another one of a pass. 2 bad ball clubs. Not really a feel. I mean, this could be anybody could win this game. It wouldn't surprise me. I would lean towards over with these 2 pitchers in this type of ballpark. But that's all I really have. I don't have much on it.
Yeah, no, you should. I mean, you should be able to get the Cologne, but I mean, he's been okay. Let me just take a look at some, Moncada, Garcia. They don't have the lineups out yet, but not a great looking lineup. But when you look, Rodon comes from the left-hand side, and we know that the Texas Rangers like to throw a lot of left-handed batters out there. So we'll see how it stacks up. But it's one of those games where you want to look and say, oh, good, Cologne's on the mound. Just like we always look and say, let me see if we can fade him. But I don't know if it's a great spot to fade him because getting back to the original point, what are the White Sox going to give you from a batting angle? So we'll see what takes place.
I don't ever look at a Cologne game and want to back him. I don't ever see the reasoning on doing it.
Like, we're backing Cologne. Like, what makes you say, you know what, Cologne's going to throw a gem tonight? Because when you pop the game on and watch it on TV,
but
it's 86-mile-an-hour fastballs. You're like,
he doesn't have
got to hit this guy. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, he doesn't – like, you get any other pitcher, you're always going to have a shot because they have different pitchers they can throw. Cologne is like Jamie Moyer. He must hit certain spots or he's not effective.
Yeah.
That's – it really comes down to the ump. Is he going to get those calls? And with the Texas Rangers, the problem is they're bad behind him in that bullpen. So Cologne needs a good bullpen behind him. That's kind of why with the Mets, I thought at one point maybe he can work out because they have a pretty solid bullpen at the time and, whatever. But, yeah, Cologne's tough.
Argentina, Jeff, almost got the tying goal here.
Yeah, this is a wild one.
Wow. That's a great finish right there. He could have had a shot at it. All right, Jeff, 2 games left here on the card, 977, 978, Kansas City and Seattle. And look, Felix is a 205 favorite in this game. I know Felix, leaking oil at this point, but still able to reach down, Jeff, and say, I don't have my fastball. Let me use some of my off-speed pitches. But again, it's coming down to who you are playing in this instance. It's the Kansas City Royals. They are complete trash. If the Royals can get, 3 runs, Jeff, it's almost a damn near miracle. I know how much me and you like the Seattle Mariners over the season. Do I want to get involved in laying 200 with Felix on the mound? No, I don't. But I'm certainly not just going to say, we're going to ride Kansas City in this environment because they don't have anything left anyway.
And the problem with Seattle is they have so many one-run wins that just stares you in the face and says, well, you got one. It's like the devil and the angel. You got the angel saying, go ahead and lay that run line. It's okay. They're going to win 6-1. But then you get the devil. Hey, listen, we win a lot of run games. You really want to do this? You know, it's kind of like the devil should be telling me to bet it, and the angel should be saying, hey, don't do it. But it's, I don't know. Either way, people get what I'm saying. You don't want to lay the run line a lot of times with Seattle, but you know, it's hard to not do it against a really horrendous Kansas City team. A team with Hamill who, I mean, Jason Hamill, Donnie, last 2 games, 9 2/3. He's given up 11 earned runs, 15 hits, 9 walks. If you're going to lay a run line, it might be here, but do you trust Felix? He should be able to shut down a bad KC team. I would lean run line, but I don't have a big feel in this one either.
No, 979, 980, Jeff. Last game on the card here. 2 o'clock start, Minnesota and the Chicago Cubs. Alberto Mejia is going to go up against Chatwood. Chatwood, I believe, missed his last start. Maybe paternity list, had a kid. I can't remember the exact feeling. But if you are betting Tyler Chatwood, do you not need a case of Tums, a case of Mylanta, and a case of Pepto just to make it through the first 2 or 3 innings? Now, look, I don't know what type of value you're getting, 150, and now it seems like 145 across the board. And he seems to perform Houdini acts left and right. And I know the Cubs are hot at the plate, but just boiling it down, I cannot back a pitcher, Jeff, that if I know he's going to last 5 innings, he's going to have 7 or 8 walks. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you. I'm not going to bet this game because I don't like Minnesota technically from a side here because Chicago looking like those bats are getting hot. But I'm not backing Chatwood whatsoever. I have no idea why you would back him.
Yeah, it's this is an over game. Looks like a good over game here. I mean, you got 93 degrees, winds blowing out 15 miles an hour, humid, real feel 103 degrees. Yeah, I mean, Mejia, what are you going to get out of him? Adalberto, I think it's Adalberto Mejia, if I'm correct.
Yes.
He hasn't really pitched this year at all. Looks like a spot starter. You're right with Tyler Chatwood. Tyler Chatwood lays 3 starts, Donnie. 14 walks in 3 starts.
Yes.
That's disastrous, really. Cubs hitting the ball, though, right now. Total looks pretty good here. I mean, you got a lot of runs, but you know, the weather looks pretty damn good. No, you're not, Mark Lewis. I blocked you. Thank God. You're not following me anymore. Yeah, I would look over here.
Jeff, would you like to weigh in on Kensington? Kyle Hamburg said he watched Drugs Incorporated, The Fix, the other day. Damn, Kensington is rough, ain't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's an open-air drug market at this point. It's actually gotten worse since that Drugs Inc. episode. That Drugs Inc. episode, that guy in the show, the older guy, I've seen him around. I don't know if he's still alive, though. He was that was a couple years ago, but it's actually gotten worse in Kensington since then. I've been to Kensington many times. A girl I used to date lived in that area. I remember going to K&S a lot of times. It's one of the saddest things in America I've ever seen. I mean, and at this point, Donnie, in Philadelphia, they actually have pushed all street level drug dealing and using into that area. So you can deal with impunity. There's no police presence really. I think it's gotten worse in Kensington as far as gotten better. Yeah, it's bad there for sure. That's one of the worst areas in the city, Kenzo. But Donnie, by the way, speaking of him, Kyle Hamburg, he said he's going to be in Atlantic City.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's do it. I told him. I DM'd him back. I said, let's plan on something.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get to see him very soon. Forget you, big man. You trash. All right.
Trash. I agree. I agree.
Well, that's why I blocked you, Mark. Idiot. Always whining about games. Why don't you cap them, dude? By the way, Donnie, speaking of Chicago, I want everyone to take a look at my NASCAR video. If you don't have a chance, I do like the track this week. Last week we had Sonoma, which is a road course. I'm just not a big fan of road courses. We're back at Chicagoland, which is a intermediate 1.5 mile track. Martin Truex has been on fire. He owns 1.5 mile tracks. I think he's definitely worth a look. Until further notice, that 78 car has just been very fast. He's got a good he's won a couple races here over the last year or two. Definitely take a look at that video. We got Chicagoland tomorrow. Nice. Look, see, Kyle's doing it right too. 9th to the 12th, Monday through Thursday. He's coming midweek. So, look, I can escape during the day. I'll be down there. Look, we'll make it happen. Maybe have some lunch down there, play some wagers.
And make sure are you staying anywhere particular, Kyle? Which hotel is he staying at, I wonder? Because I would like to get over to the ocean.
At Sheridan on Pacific Avenue.
Where's he staying?
No, I'm kidding. I don't know where.
I was like, that's interesting.
Where are you staying? That's a good question. Because all the big casinos are real expensive during the summer.
Mom's is working in Swedesboro that week. How about that, Jeff? Little farther down south there, exit 2 on the Turnpike. Okay.
That's near you, isn't it?
Yeah. Not too far from the Delaware border.
Yeah, I know where. Yeah.
George Young says, Donnie, Pirates locked today. Yeah, I want to see some lineups come out, but hey, look, if you're going to get plus money on the Pirates, that's an environment that I would like to look in there. I'm not a huge fan of Williams overall because I just think he, is that normal average pitcher, not a huge strikeout guy, but he's going to give you some good starts. I'm interested to see what type of lineup that Pittsburgh's going to throw out there. San Diego will hit a little bit at home, but Lucchese's that guy who you just don't know. Is he going to be on or off? He has really good stuff, but, is really good stuff through 4 innings, as Jeff said. Is that going to be enough, with that whole bullpen coming in? So that should be an interesting one. Jim Beam, Atlanta 7, Cards 4 final. So he's looking for a Max Fried to have a big game, Jeff.
Jim Beam could tell me that God's coming down to say hello, and I'd tell him to. I don't.
What are you going to fade? You're going to fade that, Jeff? You're going to flip that over to Card 7 Atlanta 4 is what you're saying?
Jim Beam's an idiot. I mean, Jim Beam just says shit to say it. By the way, Kyle's staying at the Marriott, which is near. It's near the new Hard Rock. That's great.
Well, no, I thought the Marriott's out by the train station, isn't it? That's right when you come in off your left-hand side on the expressway, I thought, right? That's the Sheridan out there.
No, it's Pacific Avenue. It's up by the Hard Rock, right near resorts.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I know where that is. I was just around there the other night. It's dude, the Hard Rock, by the way, Donnie, what a beautiful property that is, man.
They redid the Taj pretty nice, I heard. Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's the nicest hotel in Atlantic City. The property. That's a beautiful, beautiful property.
Trump did it right, Jeff.
Mark Lewis, you're the worst capper I've ever saw, big man. I like you, Donnie. Lose that loser. Listen, Mark, let me tell you something. What I think you should do instead of coming on the show and bothering people, maybe you should go take a fucking English class. Do you not have any idea how to speak English?
Is he French, though? Is it Mark Louis? You don't know.
Good point. Good point. Maybe it is Louis. Mark will be back on Big Man's Nuts when college basketball comes on. Good point. That was kind of mean, Big Man. Well, coming from you, Small Dick Donnie, you're a troll as well. So, listen, anyone that trolls users that are on the shows, listen, Big Dick Donnie's a listener.
Where's he at? Why is he trolling that guy? That guy's a nice guy.
Jim Beam has been a troll for many years. He used to call into our show and say stupid shit about my hair and the stuff on my wall. I mean, that's just what Jim Beam does. Jim Beam's a troll. Small Dick Donnie's a troll. Louie's a troll. They're all trolls. Sports betting AC better than Delaware.
Yes.
It definitely is. Right now, is it better from a whole? No.
But at least you can go somewhere. Like you're going to Delaware. You're going to some little square box casino that probably can fit like 150 people total. At least if you're in Atlantic City, you get a nice casino experience at a nice hotel. Yeah. So I mean, and at that point,
coming from a guy, like I go to corner stores to bet games, so I don't really I don't really care what it looks like. As long as they could take the action, I'm in. I
love it. Like from the time that I was able to gamble at like 21 and, driving down from being in college, get my first taste of like legitimate blackjack and craps. I've always loved Atlantic City. So I'm going to be partial there all the time. And it's great to see how long have we been talking since we've been together, Jeff? Like, can't wait for gambling to come back because the casinos are going to come back. That's not going to help. Yeah. As soon as it gets approved, what happens, Jeff? 2 casinos open up right off the bat and the showboat is going to come back in. You're looking at 3 full casinos added, Jeff, just since sports gambling turned on. Yeah. It wasn't going to be a good idea. Come on.
Yeah, they should have did this a long time ago. Best bet in baseball. I'm looking towards the Red Sox. I like them today.
Yeah, I'm trying to take a lot. Like, to be honest, like the Helix and Velasquez game, I want to see some lineups that come out in that one. Maybe looking for a Phillies first. I don't like to get involved with the Phillies bullpen. Maybe Dominguez is in, maybe he's not. But if you're going to get Helix in here on like a trial basis coming back, and again, you try to take out what he did in single egg. I don't know how 18-year-olds lit him up, Jeff, for 11 runs over 4 innings, but I can't imagine him coming in hot. The one thing that's left out last night is, yes, 17 runs were scored by the Nationals, but the Phillies still put up 7 runs I'm looking at something in that instance. Also, I'm still looking at Cincinnati. I want to see the lineups that come out, because if you give me a half and half lineup out of the Milwaukee Brewers, I might be leaning towards taking Cincinnati. And they're now looking, Jeff, 113, 114, 116, depending on where you're shopping at this. That's another one that I might be trying to get involved in. But that early games, the Mets, DeGrom, I mean, they don't make too much sense. And some of these guys, if you're going to lay it out, say, hey, Atlanta's going to hit with Max Fried out there. I don't know what I'm going to get from Max Fried. I don't know what I'm going to get from a bullpen game down in, to fade Verlander at home and get like plus 160. But just to fade, that doesn't make sense. I don't know what I'm going to get out of that game. So there's a couple spots to pick on. I know, Jeff, you talked about the Rodon-Cologne game. I mean, are you just flipping a coin in that game, like what you're going to get from either pitcher,
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I mean, there's a lot of those games. Bad teams playing bad teams. One other thing, Donnie, with Atlantic City that I'm concerned with, I think the one thing that will hold them back as far as growing the town, it's already growing for sure. But the one concern you're going to have is from the Trop all the way up to Revel, that stretch of street, it's not good. It must get cleaned up.
It's always been that, though.
They have to revitalize it. They have to. Get those vacants out of there. Start putting in little chic shops and stuff like that. If you've ever seen, Donnie, when you're driving down Atlantic Avenue Ventnor Avenue through Margate, in Ventnor, it's not beautiful, but it's not bad either. It's just nice little shops. Put in a phone store or a coffee shop or a boutique. You got to start cleaning that up. That stretch on Pacific up Texas Avenue up towards that area. I mean,
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it is, because it's almost like, you're in a different world once you get to the boardwalk and the casinos there, because there's still some riffraff even on the boardwalk there that hopefully, new revitalization will come in. But I know exactly what you're talking about, but it's always been that way. That was one of the talks back in 1978 when Resorts, the original casino, got approved for gambling, saying, you know what, we're going to have a monopoly on this. We're going to be able to clean up the entire town. Well, we all know politicians squander all that money. They never appropriately put that money into rehab like they were supposed to. Maybe the only good thing that actually came out of it, revitalization, Jeff, was the old high school was down there, which they were able to build a beautiful high school in the early 90s out off the coast, which is sensational. But that was forced in through a casino tax. That is actually good. But you're right. The revitalization that should have taken place with at least the 4 blocks off of the boardwalk never took place.
Well, even Donnie, once you get into like the actual, off Atlantic Avenue into the city, down Baltic Avenue, I mean, the city is majorly poor. It's decrepit.
Yes, it is.
It's run down.
Yes, correct.
And basically from the boardwalk to Borgata, everything in the middle.
And the city itself is actually bankrupt. The state runs it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's my issue. I mean, you look at Donnie, Philadelphia as a prime example. Jim Kenney, a lot of people don't like, and for valid reasons, I get it. But Donnie, have you been down to Philadelphia lately? Down in South Philly, some of the bad neighborhoods. They look beautiful. They're starting to revitalize everything. They're starting to gentrify things. They need to do that in Atlantic City. They need to go down in there and say, you know what, we got to fix this shit up. This looks awful. There's just run down, decrepit stuff. That's when we'll get it back.
Which, you're right. You have a good point in that, because when you're always talking about economics and environment here, we waited for a long time saying the jobs in the casinos will come back, because when you're in almost like a hold mode where you see it from let's just say, Jeff, from 2000 on, where other states started getting gaming licenses here, it was almost like Atlantic City was in that hold pattern saying, I just need to hold on to see what I can do and survive to get through this, because we don't even know if it's going to turn around. Now that the money is going to come back into Atlantic City, we'll see if they spend the money the appropriate way now, because now, again, as opposed to a collapsing market, it's now an expanding market again. Hopefully they do it the right way this time.
Yeah. Another good comment from Mark, Donnie. Get lost. You're trash. And then he tells me about my shirts. I actually had to pawn them, Mark. Like I said, they're all gone. I don't have any more.
And that, Jeff, that Sixer shirt might be gone too if they don't sign a big name free agent.
I actually have 2 different blue Sixer shirts. This is a newer one that I have, but I'm actually waiting. I actually ordered some stuff online. I'm waiting for it to come to my house here. But I was thinking sale first 5. Not a bad idea, maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some value out of those games here. Taking a look, like the Mejia Chatwell game, I don't have much into it. So that Pittsburgh-San Diego game does have a little bit of interest to me. Fading Shelby Miller till he gets right for San Francisco, you're going to get a dog price, but, going into that game, you want to see some lineups in that. Are you going to get Buster Posey in that game? The Dodgers and Colorado game, just taking a flyer, Jeff, on Colorado. If you're saying, let me just bet a dog today, they're only getting 22% of the tickets and the line's dropping a little bit. Maybe that's one that you want to take a look at as well. But you're right. From an overall card perspective, Jeff, you're not getting that, you know what, this is a great line, this is a great game, because you're still going to pay a premium when you have Skaggs at 150 on the road versus Baltimore, even though how bad Baltimore is. But I'm sure some of those lines are filtered through once we see some lineups.
Donnie and Jeff, why is your capping so focused on full game? Many bullpen calls create variables that are hard to cap. Could you touch upon this? Yeah, listen, I've always just been a full game bettor just because I like to look at the full Monty of what the team has. I try to focus on bullpens that are less concerning. Yeah, blow-upable, I guess you could say. Listen, it's never a foregone conclusion. That's why bullpens are bullpens. They always say if you can't pitch, go to the bullpen. They'll find a spot for you. It's a good point, and I do try to focus kind of as the season goes on a little bit more on first five. Donnie would be a better answer to that. I bet baseball strictly for fun. But it is a good question. I think that's the main proponent from a lot of bettors is I'll just bet first fives. Yeah. I think if you're focusing on starting pitching, that is the fine way to go. And then with most teams nowadays, you definitely want to do that. But, you know, there are still some good bullpens left, so I try to focus on kind of surrounding myself around those teams.
No, you're right. You're right. The first five, I always like to say it used to be one of my more trigger-happy moments there, Jeff, when I used to like to take a lot of first fives because you know who the starting pitchers are, right? And you're going to know who the starting lineups are. So you can focus in like who hits lefties, who hits righties, who doesn't, you know, in ballparks. Because once you get into the bullpens, some nights, as Jeff points out, you don't know actually who's in the bullpens. The closer going to be there. Is the eighth inning guy have the night off? You know, did this guy throw too many innings, you know, a couple of days ago and he's not going to be available? I do like first fives, but the game is a lot different than it was even 1 to 2 years ago because the erosion of actually, you know, doing baseball fundamentals, the bunts, the hitting behind the run or the moving the guys over where it doesn't matter how many chances there are because how many times you see, like, Jeff, just look at the Padres last night and the Pirates game. One team was like 2 of 11. One team was 2 of 13 with runners in scoring position. There's no more good outs. Like nobody cares. You don't get paid anymore, Jeff, for like saying, you know, if there's a runner on second with no outs and you hit a fly ball to right field that moves him to third, that's a detriment when back in the day that used to be looked upon as a fantastic at bat. And that's why I've gotten away a little bit of the first fives and just giving it more of a full game. But I do agree. I used to call it betting in a vacuum, and I like that way. But again, when we're talking about a show here, Jeff, what do most people like to bet? Full games, which is why we don't go over. I mean, some people bet like second halves of games. Nobody really bets that. So, you know, we're coming in from a full game perspective, and you can make the choice on which way you want to go in those.
Yeah, agreed. Where else are we going to go? We're going to wrap it up here. Small Dick Donnie going on about God knows what. Donnie says that I'm pulling you down. And you don't.
Damn, you know what? I get that a lot. I mean, I'm going to have a vote on Twitter to say, should I dump Jeff or not?
Oh, let me ask you, Donnie, and this is a good question. What do you think the response on the poll would be?
You know, it's funny, Jeff. I would assume that you might lose the poll because there are usually a lot more haters that voice their opinion than people that like you, which is general.
Which, you know, and I'll never understand people because I just don't. You people do understand. I love being the bad guy. I love it. I fucking love it.
You know, again, it would be unfair because here's what would happen. You would have the guys with the 50 burner accounts tilt that poll against you, Jeff.
Yeah, look, 70-30. I knew Big Man was a
I knew it. Look at his show. Look at all the thumbs
you are better off without him.
I just bought. Remember the guy who was buying like 400 dislikes, like before the show would even get started? Yeah. We'd have like 400 dislikes. You know, there's crazy people out there, man.
Yeah. Listen, I'm telling you right now, I think Donnie's poll would be bad for me. And listen, if Donnie wants to move on from me, that's his business. He is rude to everyone. No, I'm not rude to everyone. I'm rude to people like you that are fucking losers. That's who I'm rude to. I love 98% of this chat. I love. I like all these people.
Jeff, the guy thinks you're annoying even though you are Albanian, though. So at least that was like a half-back shot to you.
I don't give a fuck. Let me not sleep tonight because Reef NYC doesn't like me. Uh-oh. What am I going to do with myself? You know, but you still watch me. So thanks for watching, Reef. Listen, Donnie is a great capper, and Donnie can do whatever he feels is best. If he wants to dump me, that's fine. I'm sure I'll be fine. But I don't want that to happen because Donnie and I are good friends, and I enjoy him. Do you love me? Yeah, sure I do. Sure I love you.
A lot of love out there.
No, listen, Jim Beam, I think is can be annoying, but he can be funny sometimes for sure. Some of these guys are just so enthralled in like just this complete jargon that's some of this other crap we see on some of these channels. It's just it's pathetic. Go away. I don't fucking know who is that. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not comparing myself to anyone else. Go listen to them then. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know what you're talking about. I like you. All right, settle down, Reef. Then you should say that. Reef says I'm annoying and that he likes Rightside better, but I like you, bro. Just messing with you.
Yep.
What are the lines on J.J. Watt versus Conor McGregor? Okay, Small Dick Donnie. Then go the fuck away, bro. See ya. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I don't know. I think we're at what again? 115, Jeff. Nice to go over a little bit, but now it's time to cap. Get a look at those cards. Enjoy it. I know you got a big soccer game, which you got that cake on for all the listeners out there. So good luck in that soccer game. But another Saturday edition, Jeff, for the closing line. Mm-hmm. We'll get out of here.
Yeah. Everyone have a great weekend. Hopefully you enjoy your Saturday. Spend it with your family. We got. By the way, next week, Donnie, I got a little of top 5 we'll get back into, kind of summer related. So look forward to that. Make sure you join us for that. We'll be back Monday. Everyone have a great day. Bye-bye.